A news crew investigating a ghost that allegedly fires arrows suddenly has one slam into their camera. A newspaper launches off a desk during a live talk show, and a psychic claims she accidentally summoned a spirit after pieces of a TV set start moving on their own. These are haunted objects that were caught moving on live TV.
From the sky out of nowhere and hits the side of Jeff's camera.
What? The arrow!
What you just saw there was footage from KTVN2 News, Nevada. Arrow hit the side of the camera. The crew was covering the story of an infamous entity known as Whiskey Bill. The tale goes back to the Prohibition era. William Whiskey Bill Johnson, a bootlegger who ran an early desert distillery in the 1920s, became well known among miners and settlers for his whiskey. But once Prohibition hit, he went underground and kept producing it illegally. After his death, people started reporting strange activity around the abandoned ruins of his distillery in the Nevada desert. Visitors claimed to hear laughter, clinking glasses, and faint sounds like a busy bar still operating long after it shut down. Some also report sudden cold spots, the smell of whiskey in the air, and arrows being fired out of thin air. This news crew captured some strange things as well, like sound.
Kid you not, at one point of the evening, we heard what sounded like a big band from the 1920s playing on a gramophone.
I was gonna play back.
Shh! That's music!
They also spoke to an investigator named Kelly Latham, who captured this eerie image.
Yeah, and it's all to see if the paranormal activity appears right when the picture is taken. And sure enough, something did. On me.
What? It's on me? No.
This strange clip comes from an Albanian talk show. Not sure exactly what the hosts were talking about, because I don't speak Albanian, but given the upbeat music and the Amy Winehouse name drop,
Sot me dëgjuat nga e ndjera, Amy Winehouse, Altini e solli këtu.
I get the sense it's some kind of entertainment music type show. Anyway, not long into the conversation, a newspaper sitting on the desk does something a newspaper isn't supposed to do unless there's a very, very strong gust of wind.
Pjesa më e madhe janë pushim dhe po e shijojnë dhe një ditë mrekullueshme që është për jashtë.
Profesor!
Wow.
I mean, wow is right. That paper just flew off the desk. I mean, we're not talking about like a subtle movement here. If this had been filmed outside, I probably wouldn't have bothered throwing this on the list, but this is an enclosed studio. Even if someone had opened a door and a gust of air rushed in, you'd think the other papers on the desk would have moved too, even just a little bit, but no. All that flies away is that one newspaper. The host also picks it up to examine it. Doesn't appear to have a wire on it. Could it be a hoax, a prank on the hosts? Sure, but I'll let you decide. What do you think? Was this some sort of publicity stunt, or was something genuinely weird captured on live TV? During an episode of the Mexican morning show Sale al Sol, a psychic and clairvoyant, Mondi Vidente, was discussing angels and ghosts, spiritualism, I don't know, whatever it is clairvoyants ramble on about. Then suddenly, a piece of the set fell down. What freaked people out had more to do with when this happened in the conversation. As they got to talking specifically about the supernatural, that's when the set decoration toppled down. And that wasn't it, because moments later, another set decoration appeared to rotate on its own, catching the attention of host Carlos Arenas, who immediately pointed it out. This led some viewers to wonder if this discussion about the spiritual realm had somehow set off the activity. Had the psychic accidentally summoned a ghost? Well, she thought so. After the broadcast, Vidente posted on social media that she'd sensed a, quote, powerful spirit emerge at the exact moment the objects began to move.
Pounds each, you know, hands up, I bought them to
Look, that
resell.
chair's beginning
Chair's
to rock.
rocking.
Look at that.
Who's doing that? Stop it. Who's doing that?
During a 2017 episode of the British talk show This Morning, a couple were featured with their possessed doll. Throughout the interview, a chair the doll was sitting on began rocking on its own, multiple times. For some background, a couple had been out one day walking past an antique store when they spotted some old dolls in the window. They figured, hey, they're cheap, maybe we can flip them for a profit. So they grabbed a few. But the second these dolls came through the front door, weird stuff starts happening. They had one of them, the one they actually brought to the studio, sitting on the dresser in their bedroom. And one morning, the husband gets up, jumps in the shower, and out of nowhere, a feels this burning sensation on his leg. It wasn't the water. So they moved the doll into their shed and stuck it inside a plastic bin. A couple days go by, the wife goes out to check on it, opens the bin, and the doll's necklace is missing. When they put it in there, though, it had been wrapped up tight. And on the night before their appearance on the show, they had a weird experience in their hotel room.
2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and heard like a swishing noise going around my side of the bed.
She said it sounded like someone's clothing rustling as they walked by the bed. Of course, nothing was there. Ended up getting rid of that doll. During a live morning broadcast in Honduras, journalist Carlos Molina had a pretty wild moment on air. While he and his co-host Pablo Zapata were reading through viewer messages, he freezes. His glass of water had slid across the table on its own, seemingly. He also mentioned that right before it happened, he'd felt this chill run down his spine. Carlos was pretty adamant that nobody on the crew was messing with him. He said, and this is his own words, "I felt something strange in my body. The action didn't just demonstrate itself in the glass, but in me as well. What I felt was a supernatural phenomenon, a chill throughout my body before the glass moved," end quote. The table was completely flat, no strings, no wires. I'm gonna play a couple clips from this news coverage in Jamaica. What's your immediate reaction?
Yeah.
Back in 2010, a Jamaican news station ran a story on a boy who said he was being haunted by a type of spirit known as a Duppy. The news crew managed to capture those 2 separate weird moments on camera, but this had supposedly been going on for a while. The boy and his family believed that he was being targeted by this dark entity, constantly tugging at him. When he got pulled back that second time, watch his legs. One of them is up in the air as he's moving backward, and then his mom rushes over and grabs him, and they do this spinny, kind of like helicopter motion. Not impossible to fake, obviously, but it is a neat detail. This clip comes from a live broadcast of London Tonight. A strange, dark, shadowy shape can be seen floating by the road behind the reporter. It has a very vague shape, but almost looks like it could be a person crossing the road. Now, on its own, this probably wouldn't be a big deal, but it's the circumstances surrounding it that really got this clip so much attention, and it has a lot of attention, millions and millions of views. The reporter was covering a deadly car accident that had taken place on this stretch of road not long before, so viewers started to wonder if this mysterious shape was some sort of ghostly presence, possibly the spirit of one of the victims of the accident, trying to leave the scene of the crash. Back in 2013, West News in Daytona Beach, Florida covered a story about the historic Plaza Resort and Spa. Strange stuff had been going on there. Some of the eerie activity was caught on security cameras. They spoke to the hotel security chief at the time, who said he was watching the security monitors like usual one night when he caught something strange in the bar.
An apparition moving about, changing sizes, and when a guard came down to check, others say the ghostly presence seemed to hide.
The guard couldn't see what the rest of the staff spotted on the security camera, but he felt something.
The guy upstairs was telling him, "Go behind the bar, it's behind the bar, go behind." So he started to go behind the bar, and he said, "No way."
In 2019, 9 News Australia did a story on a pub called Tyler's Kiln. The owner, Alistair Collins, is pretty convinced his place is haunted, and he had a bunch of late-night security footage to back it up. Chairs sliding out from tables on their own, umbrellas randomly popping open when nobody was around, doors slamming shut. One of the news anchors actually tried to recreate the chair moving the way it did in the footage, and he couldn't replicate it.
But this skeptic still isn't convinced.
Have a go. See if we can...
Dragging it and try and make it smooth.
The ground was just too uneven to smoothly drag the chair like it was dragged in the CCTV footage. And rigging out some kind of string trick would have been really hard to hide on camera. They also looked into how the umbrella could have opened by itself, and basically concluded it'd be nearly impossible to do without someone ending up in the shot. The creepiest part of the whole story comes from an electrician who was doing renovations. He heard these small doors swinging near the kitchen, and then loud footsteps going up the stairs. So he assumed it was the other guy in the building heading up, but then that guy came walking straight out of the kitchen right in front of him. So they went upstairs together to check it out. I mean, who was up there? Well, there was nobody. The entire top floor was empty. During a live weather broadcast in Argentina back in 2023, something unexpected happened. Matthias Bertolotti was mid-forecast, and the production cut to one of their outdoor cameras. A live feed pointed at at a quiet boardwalk. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary at first glance, but then a viewer watching from home noticed something strange. Running across the grass was what appeared to be a human figure, except there was something very strange about it. The figure was not solid. It was semi-transparent, ghostly pale, and you can barely make out any legs. It's like you're looking at the top half of a person. And to top it off, the figure seems to vanish out of thin air. The production team replayed the clip after viewers began calling in about it. Both hosts were pretty shocked. They were adamant that there had been no tampering with the footage. The camera had been rolling live the entire time. And that has been the video. I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.